Olá pessoal, tudo bem com vocês? Aqui é o Davi e hoje estamos aqui com mais um vídeo que é do ADV Gravador De Telas Temporada 2, Parte 10, que agora já estava aqui, que agora aqui esse vídeo que já estava com ADV Gravador De Telas é que removeu todas as partes do antigo ADV Gravador De Telas, mas eu coloquei uma nova temporada. Agora que é ADV Gravador De Telas Temporada 2 já voltou. Então, é isso. Então, esse é o que agora que já estava aqui. Porque agora que o vídeo removeu, que agora eu tenho que botar outro vídeo que tá na temporada 2. Então, bora lá pro vídeo de hoje da parte 10 da temporada 2.
Them, so you don't have to pick or choose like you do with something like the Galaxy Note 8.0 I reviewed previously. Now we can all...
So you pass. Puffball, you betrayed us! You're a filthy brat! You deserve to burn! I will crush you flat!
out of this without knowing the passcode. In fact, it's geared to tap in your passcode, and that takes you back to... If you go to the app store, you'll see lots and lots of apps. So some of them I've downloaded, some of them are provided by AT&T, and some of them are Samsung apps, and some of them are Google apps. So here we have our apps and our widgets, so we can cycle between all of them, and you can also pinch out to see all of them as well. Now in terms of apps, we have Samsung apps, which is Samsung's app store. We have Samsung Hub without knowing the passcode. In fact, it's geared toward these child-friendly apps for drawing, playing music, playing videos, that sort of thing. All of that is in here. And if you want to get out of it, in fact, if you go up here, you can actually go Samsung Wallets, the S Translator, Story Album, and the Video Editor. So all of those are not create a folder. So for example, I'm just like so. And you can go ahead and start adding certain apps to that folder. So let's say we want to add our YouTube, etc., etc. So just select those, click done. And now battery indicator and network indicator. So if you swipe down, you get your notices, and you can clear them by tapping clear, and you can tap them to jump right to them. So if I had several of them, I can scroll button, brings up Google Now. If you double tap, brings up S Voice. If you tap the recent apps, brings up recent apps. Tap and hold, brings up your I can now hide certain things. This only works within certain Samsung apps. So for example, the gallery app, this works just fine. So if I go to this image here and change the color of the folder like you used to be able to. Now if you create a folder, you get a remove folder option like so. And basically it will restore the layout to the existing layout before you apps. I can either select them or just drag and drop them. So for example, I see all these Google apps up here, just select them all. Now you can drag and drop this folder to the home screen. For example, I don't want the standard browser, I want Chrome. So if I go to the app drawer, I can pick up Chrome and drop it right there. Now if you want to create a folder for notification badges, which is very handy, and then you have your task switcher. So this will show you all your recent apps, and you can quickly launch them from the screen. They've included YouTube as well and Google Maps, and we have the Google Play Store. We also have Samsung Hub and Samsung Apps. Now if you look down here, you can see they've organized some of the apps into these folders. So we have a Samsung folder, which has all of our Samsung apps like S Health and S Translator, the Knox Security app, Action.
Não tem legendas.
Samsung folder. The apps into these folders. So we have a Samsung folder, which has all of our Samsung apps like S Health and S Translator, the Knox Security app, Action Memo, Watch On, which is that app for controlling IR equipment, Samsung Link, Downloads, Group Play, Calculator, the Samsung Browser, etc., etc. You also have Galaxy Plus, which are basically third-party apps that have partnered with Samsung. That includes Sketchbook for Galaxy, which is an Autodesk app. We have Flipboard, Dropbox. With Dropbox, you do get free 50 gigs of free online storage when you log in or register your device. We also have Evernote and TripAdvisor. Now, if you want to add any app to the home screen, all you have to do is drag and drop it. So, for example, if I want to grab Instagram here, it takes you to my folder. Of course, you can search for apps you want. So if you just want to search for Android, it comes up with Android Pay. We can also quickly alphabetize our apps here by clicking Save. We also have our editor. This allows us to folder our apps within the app drawer so we can create new folders, rearrange them, that sort of thing. Otherwise, if you drag and drop apps, alphabetize our apps here by clicking Save. We also have our by default. But if you change the folder color, it also changes the icon color. Android comes up with Android Pay. We can also quickly alphabetize our apps here by clicking Save. We also have our editor. This allows us to folder our apps within the app drawer so we can create new folders, rearrange them, that sort of thing.
Enza, Cacau Show.
letras.
You see we have the standard array of Samsung apps. So we see S-Voice, Samsung's App Store. We have the Memo app, email, calendaring. We also have My Files. We have the onboard music and video player, the world clock and calculator. And we have Google's voice search. We have Google's Gmail, Google Plus, Play Music, Play Movies and TV, Play Books, Newsstand, Games. We also have Hangouts. We have Chrome, Photos, which is our photo gallery, which allows us to sync our photos to our Google account. We have the Google Maps app, of course, YouTube, the Play Store, Google Drive, Google Settings. We have the third-party app, Dropbox, as well as Handcom Viewer, which allows us to view Office documents such as Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. So if those documents were created in those programs, you can use this app to open them and edit them. So this is very nice to have, especially on a tablet. And we also have the Watch On app, which again allows us to control our AV equipment just by selecting a nice app. Translator, which translates text in real time, works pretty well. So you can both speak it and write text, and it'll translate for you. It's kind of nice if you're traveling. You have an FM radio here, which is kind of different. We don't have that on the full-size GS4, and you have also lots of other Google apps, such as YouTube, Play Music, Maps, and Google Chrome, of course. We also have Dropbox, Flipboard, TripAdvisor, Voice Search, which is Google's Voice Search, Samsung Link, and the Story album app. We also have Watch On. Now, Watch On is the app that allows you to use the IR blaster to control your TV. I've demonstrated that before. It's kind of a nice app. Basically allows you to connect your TV so you can program works together. It's very smooth and quick. Color the folder, like so. Basically, it just changes the outline color. And, of course, you can change the name. And if you just want to remove a folder, just go ahead and remove it. It takes everything out of the folder, puts it back within the app drawer. Now, you can also order these by alphabetically if you want. So if you start rearranging them, just go back to alphabetical mode, puts it all back into order. In terms of our app selection, of course, we have a folder full of Google apps. We have some T-Mobile apps that came with this carrier. We also have some social apps that came pre-installed like WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, and Instagram. We have some Samsung apps like Milk Music and Milk Video. We also have a nice file manager here. It allows us to break everything down by images, video, audio, documents, and more. So a nice quick way of accessing all your storage. We also have a folder with some Microsoft apps here, including OneDrive, OneNote, and Skype. We also have an all-new one I restored for my account, but Chrome is, I don't know if this installed, Gene Contacts, Foam. They do include Chrome, I believe. I don't know if this installed when I restored for my account, but Chrome is there in the app drawer. So again, you just go to the app drawer and you'll find even around to folder them. So if I want to create new folders, I can just by dragging and dropping the apps over each other. But you can see some apps have these little icons which indicate. So there we go. We're going to click done. Unfortunately, you can't hide apps for a file manager, and then we have Samsung Gear for connecting your smartwatch or other accessories. So we have apps like you could with the previous software. In terms of the app selection, besides the apps over each other, but you can see some apps have these little icons which indicate they can be enabled. So for example, I can select this item and just disable it. And if I want to re-enable it, I have to go to the icon. And I can order them. So if I want to order them A to Z, I can do that, but I don't because I want to keep everything in their folders. Now, if I go up to edit, I can move things around to folder them. So if I want to create new folders, I can just by dragging and dropping. You can see they've already organized some of the apps for us. We have AT&T, Google, and Samsung organized here, so I can tap on them to expand them out. I can also edit the name or to have with the previous Note or previous versions of TouchWiz. So we can see they've already organized some of the apps for us. We have Netflix, we also have Dropbox, and others. So Barnes & Noble has partnered with Samsung to bring e-reading to their tablets. So we have navigation, free navigation from Android. This does have GPS, so this will work. But of course, you'll need a cellular connection. Music player, Media Hub, All Share Play, Chat On, which is that cross-platform chat app which you can install on other devices like iOS. And we have also a video editor, we have a textbook app, YouTube, and we have a screensaver app. So there's lots and lots of apps. A screen grab of your device and save it to your gallery. Now in the upper right corner, we have our apps tray, which includes apps and widgets with lots and lots of pages of different apps. And of course, you can drag and drop any of these to the home screen. Some of them are already there. And you have a standard array of Samsung Note 8.0 and the Galaxy Note 10.0. We have screensavers, YouTube, the Google Maps, and settings. If we go to our app drawers, we'll find more here. So we'll find Paper Artist, which is an app we're familiar with on the Note series, such as the Note 8.0 and the Galaxy Note 10.0. We have screensavers, lots of Google apps, Flipboard, the music player, as well as Music Hub and Music Player, which are Samsung apps. We'll find our Watch On app as well as the video player, which has that pop-out feature, as well as the world clock and YouTube. A lot of those are already on the home screen. You can see we have the standard array of Google apps, Samsung apps, and some third-party apps. So you can see we have Paper Garden, which is launching with the Tab S. Basically, this is, you can see we have WebEx and Remote PC, which is. So you can see we have Paper Garden, video, and that sort of thing. Now if we go to the app drawer, you can see we have the standard array of Google apps, Samsung apps, reviewing Office formatted documents. You tap that. International version does have an FM radio. I'm not sure if the US versions will carry that. Usually they don't. We have Google Plus, we have the standard Android browser, gaming, learning hub, we have Music Hub, the Messenger app from Google, Google Plus, we have Maps, lots of other things here that are standard with most Android devices, including Play Movies, the Play Store, Reader's Hub, we have the phone app, as well as Paper Artist, which we'll explore a bit later. We have navigation, we have a file manager, we have voice recorder, we have voice search, which is the Google voice search. So if we tap that, it takes us right to Google Voice. So you can drop that icon in the home screen if you would like to do that as well. We also have a video player, and of course we have YouTube, Google, and Google Talk. To scroll up and down, but of course that just hides the app drawer. Instead, you scroll left and right through the pages. Now the app drawer has many features we're pretty familiar with. In order to organize layout. Into this app drawer, you can see my instinct right away is to scroll up and down, but of course that just hides the app. Samsung and Google, so some third-party apps as well. I'm not sure who added them, either T-Mobile or Samsung did. But you can see we have folders already for some of them. So we have Google, Microsoft, Samsung, Social, and T-Mobile. So as you can see, we get a whole suite of Microsoft apps, which Samsung has started doing within the past year. We also can modify the folder here, so we can change the color. So if you want it yellow, you can. And as you can see, the background is now yellow for that folder. Now, if you want to quickly sort your apps by alphabet, you can do that here, but I don't want to do that because I want to keep everything in this custom order. We can also go up to Edit here. So if we go up to Edit, we now have options like dragging and dropping icons over top of each other to folder them, but we can also disable or uninstall apps from the screen. So if you want to disable this app, you can, but I don't want to uninstall that app. I want to do this app here. So let's go ahead and uninstall, and that app completely uninstalls. Now, not all apps are uninstallable. Some of them you can disable at the same time. So I can, in theory, jump between different apps into folders. So we have Galaxy Plus, which are third-party apps which Samsung is partnered with, including Dropbox, Evernote, Flipboard, and Sketchbook for Galaxy. We also have Google, so all of our Google apps are in that folder. And we have Samsung, so all of these are Samsung apps, most of which I've demonstrated behaves a bit differently since the Note 7. So for example, tapping and holding on an app brings us again to those editing options. So we can add this to the home screen, or you can just drag and drop it to a folder within the app drawer, or take it up to the home screen and drop it there. We can also add up to 5 apps within the dock. In terms of foldering here, if you go editing mode, so if I go to edit, I can now drag and drop folder or items to our folders here. For example, Chrome goes into Google. And I can also add additional items to the app or to the folder, like so. Now these buttons on the back, actually, if you tap on this, you can add additional apps by going to this editor. So you can select specific apps from your app drawers. You can tap on them instead of dragging and dropping each app to your folder. You can also resize the folder. So you can see you can resize it to almost fill up the entire home screen. Now if you're in the folder, you can tap to edit the name as well as
is that. Oh yeah, one cool thing I found out about OBS is that if you record the inner window of the virtual machine and then restart when it goes into
Azure, so you can see we have all of our recent files, and they're all categorized by images, videos, audio, that sort of thing, which is kind of nice. And then we have our app drawer, which is where we can see all of our available apps. You can see that Samsung has loaded quite a few of them. That sort of thing, which is kind of nice. And then we have our app drawer. That sort of thing, which is kind of nice. And then we have our app drawer, which is where we can see all of our. You can take up 26 inches with a resolution of 1600 by 2560. Now if you subtract the edge right in. Now the Note Edge has a wider but shorter display than the Note 4, so this is 5. We can change the image quality, whether we want normal or high quality, and start recording it. And this will record up to 15 seconds. Now we have lots of apps here, including Group Play, which allows you to connect to other Samsung devices in close proximity to each other to share music, video, and games. I've shown that demo before. Game Hub, which is Samsung's game store, Gmail, Google Settings, Flipboard. So we still have Flipboard here. That's you find Flipboard installed by default on all TouchWiz devices. Chat on. We have Chrome. Alarm calculator. What else do we have? We have the Memo app. We have Paper Artist, which we actually see a lot on the Note series, so you can also get that here. You just don't have the stylus built in. Now we also have S Translator here, so we can speak in one language and it will output in another language. We also have two apps for utilizing the IR Blaster to control our AV equipment. Watch On is the newer Samsung app, and we have the third-party Peel Smart Remote app. The Watch On app is probably more interesting here. It's more up-to-date, and it also features the capability of working with Samsung Smart TV, so not only can you control your TV with the Watch On app using the IR Blaster, but you can connect and take it with you. One of them like that. So we have an office suite, the standard Samsung video player, as well as the music player. Now, like all Samsung devices, what you get when you set it up for the first time before you restored it or added your own apps. So let's go to our drop-down menu here. Use that little slider. You can also see everything using. So let's go ahead and take a look at the apps they've included. So this is a mix of third-party Samsung and Google apps. Now you can toggle between apps and widgets, so you can swipe through these pages here, or you can use that little slider. You can also see everything you've downloaded, so you can see all the downloaded applications right here. Now if you go to the app screen, we can take a look at some of them. So we have All Share Play, which is a familiar Samsung app. We also have A-Note HD, which I've never seen before. This is sort of like an Evernote app that integrates everything on your device, such as your calendars, your email, your gallery items, your video, your voice notes. Everything is integrated in here. Paper Artist, which is something I've demonstrated before, but it's a more comfortable reading experience. Now we also have the standard array of Google apps, including Play Magazines, Play Movies and TV, Play Music, the Play Store. We also have Polaris Office, which is an office suite that basically allows you to open and edit Office documents such as Word, Excel, or PowerPoint documents. We also have the Peel Smart Remote, which again works with that IR Blaster. It's meant to be used in game store. So other recent apps are pretty standard interface. To act as your antenna. Now the app store has one other little trick here, so if you swipe all the way to the right, you get to this little pop-out menu here, so you can search for apps. So for example, if you want to launch the Instagram app, just start on installation here. To see your apps that are available for uninstallation here. So you see very few of them can actually be uninstalled. All I have to do is hit the X to uninstall them. And if you want to return back to your normal view, just unclick it. You can also see your orders here, so you can see apps by your custom order, alphabetical order, most used, and recently installed apps. Now, if you swipe here, you can see we have quick access to the Play Store or Sony Select Store as well. Now under this, you'll see two Handcom Office apps. So you'll find the standard viewer, which allows us to view times, which are subscription based, but you do get a trial period if you want to view it. Netflix comes pre-installed. You also find Paper Garden, which again is integrated with the My Magazine viewer. And then we have other standard Samsung apps. We have My Files, which again is integrated into the Home Hide certain app folders, or we can use the alphabetical grid, which will take them out of the folders and just show you them all in an alphabet. Samsung and Google apps. So you can see all the available Google apps such as YouTube, Play Movies, Play Music, etc. You can see that Flipboard has also been included, along with Smart Remote, which allows us to use the IR Blaster and widgets. Now if you want to add any of these, all you have to do is tap and hold them. So here we have Google Music, and we're just going to drop this onto, let's go to the next home screen. So let's see if we can swipe to the next one. Oops, too far. You don't logical order, perhaps it's not as important that you don't have recent apps launched here. Now the app drawer also displays what's on cloud or what's on device. So I can see what I have previously purchased from the Amazon App Store. You can see that a lot of these were purchased on my Kindles, and I can transfer them to my device by just selecting them. Now from this carousel, if I tap and hold on one of these items, I have the option to remove from the carousel or remove. Now only certain apps are eligible. Some of these are permanent. You can't do anything about them. They stay with the tablet no matter what. But some of these can be disabled, and some of them can be uninstalled. Now, if you go to show disabled apps, you'll see all the apps. We have our app drawer. So as you can see here, we have a tab for our apps, our widgets, our downloaded apps. If you go down here, if you go to the apps drawer, you can see if we go to the menu settings up here, we have the option to create folders, set wallpaper, and a few other things, but you can also uninstall or disable apps. First, let's go on here if you just swipe left and right. Now, they've also included a file. Now, they've also included, anything they've added includes screencasts for the CyanogenMod apps. There's not a lot of third-party apps here. In fact, the only thing they've added includes screencasts for recording your screen, which includes lots of Google apps and some of the CyanogenMod apps. We also have lots of Microsoft apps. So we have Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, Skype, and OneDrive. So they all come pre-installed here, and that's part of Samsung's new agreement with Microsoft. Now you
Wait, where's Google?
get their own folder, but we
Oh, he's here.
apps and a lot of Google apps here which get their own folder, but we also have lots of Microsoft apps. So we have Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, Skype, and OneDrive. So they all come pre-installed here, and that's part of Samsung's new agreement with
where's
Microsoft. Now
phone?
you can edit the app drawer. Just go up to edit, and you can see the apps that are eligible.
Público exigente, é um público qualificado, ele não vem no shopping.
As you can see,
Tomorrow's forecast for Chicago is 54 degrees with a chance of showers.
now let's take a look at the app drawer. As you can see here, there are lots of apps. There are 3 pages of apps, and when you swipe all the way to the right, you get to this little
Our host's back! Really? How did you, of all people, convince them?
Que fosse bem pequeno, mas não é pequeno, gente. Bem
Cadê a
legal.
fatura? Eita, mano, chegou com a classe.
Muito bem. Pra lá também tem lojinhas. Agora a gente tá indo pro... Ó, tem uma na linha aqui. Ali tem espaço pra tirar foto de aniversário. Tem espaço ali de princesa. Agora o primeiro lugar, ó. Tem...
Although there are a few tweaks here. So for example, we have a search box up top with this ellipses toward the right that allows us to edit or to choose.
Leafy. Definitely not fiery.
Me too!
OMG, bubble.
Leafy!
Leafy! Leaf. That's right. It's all about preventing.
Não quero esse milagre.
The content in here. So for example, if we go to edit, we can drag and drop apps into folders or just remove or uninstall certain apps that
Agora tem o último vídeo. Eita, anúncio. Agora tem o último vídeo. Ai, o anúncio. Agora tem o último vídeo.
What's up, guys? Mike here, the Detroit
Eita,
Board, with a look at the
colocou no 14,
HTC One, the new
4P.
flagship phone from
Desculpa.
HTC here that
Coloca
challenged
em
Samsung and
1080p.
Apple for. What's up, guys? Mike here, the Detroit Board, with a look at the Guys, Mike here, the Detroit Board. Junior scene.
Cadê meu aplicativo?
Google, HTC, and AT&T in this case. So you can see we even have an AT&T or AT&T folder. If you want to change the layout here, you can do that. All you have to do is go to grid size, and the 3x4 configuration is standard, but you can select 4x5 and see a lot more. So you can see again, we have these folders right here, which contain more apps. So HTC has already done this for you. So what I think is kind of nice. Let's organize it nicely for you so you have less places to go to get to the apps you want. So you can see apps here, for example, all of our media apps include Watch, which is basically a HTC. If we go back to media here, you can see we have music, which is their music player, Play Music, which is Google's, YouTube, Play Music, again, Google, TuneIn Radio, again, a third-party app, and FM Radio Tuner. So we have FM Radio here. You also have Google, so Chrome, Gmail, Google Plus, Talk, etc., etc. And then we have AT&T. So these are some of the AT&T apps, and we're not going to go into those. We have a native email client. This is not the Gmail client. Twitter, Play Store, productivity apps. So that includes things like note-taking and tasks. So Task is sort of a reminder app. So we click accept app, sync with Evernote. So you can sign in with Evernote and transfer your contents to that app. You also have your settings toggle, take you right to your settings. Now you can also get the settings from the drop-down menu, and I'll show you that.
Então, continua. Então, nós vemos na próxima parte do ADV Gravador De Telas Temporada 2, parte 10. Então, até o próximo vídeo.